It's only day 2 of Broncos training camp, but already we've seen record highs on the thermostat and record highs of anticipation and enthusiasm from some of our youngest Broncos fans. As Broncos country is back once again to cheer on their favorite team in person. And while most people are fixated on the QB battle, we'll be taking a closer look at some of those wide receivers like Jeudy. And it's a good thing because we've got one of the best to ever play the position on the stage today. Welcome in to Broncos Training Camp Live, presented by U.S. Bank. I'm Matt Boyer. Welcome in Broncos Country to the UC Health Training Center. Day 1 of Camp Broncos Country had a celebratory atmosphere to it. Day 2, though, a little bit more business-like. We're still going to have a lot of fun here today on day 2, but you can see on the field the guys look a little bit more locked in today. A couple of notes to get to on today's practice. On day 1, the Broncos practiced for about an hour and 45 minutes field time, and there were 2 extended water breaks due to the heat. Expect a similar format here today, and a couple of injury notes to get to. The Broncos didn't have much injury news to report yesterday, but there were a couple of things that we're keeping our eye on. Bradley Chubb was limited yesterday, didn't participate in team drills, did some conditioning off to the side. Vic Fangio saying after practice they want to get the 2020 Pro Bowler condition and back to football shape for a few more days before turning him loose. Fangio also mentioned Alfred O on a pitch count, so to speak. His reps and activity will be slowly ramped up as he completes his recovery from an ACL tear last fall. And KJ Hamler held out of practice at the end of yesterday as a precaution. Fangio saying it's just some tightness, not anything to worry about. So the Broncos, after day 1, in pretty good shape health-wise. Now, Broncos country, each day our guy Steve Atwater is bringing us plenty of great guests. We told you that Ray Crockett was scheduled to be on the show today. Due to some unforeseen circumstances, Ray was not able to make it. However, we brought in a guy that if you need somebody to help out in a pinch, this is the guy that you want. A 2-time Super Bowl champ, the best wide receiver in Broncos history, the career leader in yards, receiving, yards, touchdowns, and receptions. You see him on the screen right there, Mr. Rod Smith. Welcome to Broncos Training Camp Live. How are you, Rod?
I'm good. How you guys doing? Y'all use me because I'm local.
No.
You're
the
best, Rod.
He live right around the corner, man. Just call him. He'll come.
No. The thing is, Rod is really good at audibles, too, because
Those are audibles.
I was going to have him come on later in the show, and fortunately, we had some, like I said, some unforeseen circumstances.
It's good, though, now. So when Steve called me at 5-something in the morning, it's usually not talk football. So, but no, we're good, and so I'm glad I could be here, and I'm really looking forward to it. Some good stuff going to be going on out here this year.
Yeah. What do you think these guys, what's going through their mind the second day of camp, especially some of the young guys, the rookies, the Seth Williams, the Patrick Surtain? What's going through their mind?
You know what, man? Football season's back. That first day, it's always the jitters, the nerves. Honestly, you forget, like for me, like drag slant was a play they called for forever, and you'll forget it day 1. You're so hyped and you're so amped about playing football again, and then you get to meet with all the guys, and so that part you get to kind of get together. But now it's got to get down to business because we got to start building a football team.
And as Matt said, KJ Hamler got a little bit of
had some tightness yesterday, cramps. It looks like he's back out there fine.
Yeah. How do you prevent that? How did you prevent cramping up and having those leg injuries with all the running that receivers do?
Yeah, you know what? One thing I discovered it a little bit late, but it helped a lot. But I would have to drink a gallon of water before I went to bed.
A gallon of water?
Literally, a gallon of water would sit by my bed, and I had to kill that gallon of water before I go to bed. If I was told this, if you don't get up, and it's going to be weird, but you don't get up and go to the bathroom during the middle of the night, you're dehydrated. And a lot of cramping comes from dehydration.
You got a weak bladder. No.
Well, 1 or 2. Yeah. As I got older, it was a weak bladder. When I was younger, I was dehydrated. But no, a lot of guys drink a lot of juices and things like that. You really need water. Even Gatorade, I know it gives you electrolytes, but you need water. You need a lot of water. So once I started doing that, I literally stopped I would have an adductor cramp pretty much daily until I started drinking the water and I got my body hydrated.
Rod, we talked to Alfred Williams yesterday about how different this atmosphere is to the one up in Greeley and in Broncos past training camps. For you, when you look out and see this setup that the Broncos have, I mean, is it like, man, I wish we had this type of deal back when I was playing? Or did you like the separation between camp and practice of the regular season?
I love going to Greeley.
You love Greeley?
We all think the same thing.
Dude, it's something about isolation.
Yep.
In sports, we see a lot of that going on right now with the Olympics and things going on, but isolation for an athlete is a good thing. because we can go and we can gather ourselves. A lot of times we don't get to do that. Like if I'm here at home, I still got to pay bills. Yeah. I still got to worry about, is the doors locked and the phone calls and people dropping. You got to worry about that when you're at home. But in Greeley, no one could get to us. The security was tight, and the only people you were with were the guys who you was trying to go to battle with. And that, to me, like, I was literally excited to go to camp every year.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. And we built bonds in training camp. We became a closer team. And I firmly believe that in order for you to go out there and lay it on the line for your teammates, you gotta like the guys you're with. You gotta have a relationship with them, man. I can't let these guys down, But if you don't know them that well, then you may not have that commitment. We were fortunate in that regard, but they got to find a way to make it happen right here.
Yeah, regardless. Yeah,
that's right.
But honestly, you think about it. That's why our relationship, like me, him, and Croc and Sharp, and all of us are so tight because we spent so much time in each other's room during camp that it was off the charts for us, man.
As we take a look at some of these wide receivers, right there we have a number 80 right
Absolutely,
there.
that's my man. I'm really looking forward to him getting a chance to shine, man.
Do you take a special liking to the guys who wear your number when they come into this Broncos team every year?
Absolutely. You know what? I always tell them all the same thing. I said, you know what? I left a little bit in there. Because, you know what? Mark Jackson left some for me. Upchurch left some for him, so we got to leave a little bit.
You don't take it all.
Uh-huh.
You don't take it all.
No. You can't take it all because you know what? You get old, and like you said, you get that weak bladder. You might as well leave it to them young boys. Let them have it.
And 80 is a Colorado State guy, Warren Jackson, local guy, undrafted guy.
Yes.
Is that make it a little bit more extra special when he's undrafted?
I actually worked with him this summer.
Okay.
I actually worked with him a little bit this summer before, when school was out.
He's Stoked.
Stoked. What's up, man? That's another. He was a number 82. Hey, man, I need a number 80 jersey, by the way, for real. I'm dead serious. I need to get that signed by Stoked. I got a wall in my weight room at home. I got all the number 80s of people I like, and Stokely's one of them.
That's right.
And plus, he got a couple rings, so it's always easy to talk to him. But no, Warren and I worked out this summer, and it was great that happened. Like after the first mini camps and stuff, I called him, because I like to give him that space, that isolation. That's where I was, so I figured he was like that. And I called him up. I said, hey, man, what's up, man? How you doing, man? I'm just checking on you. He said, man, you know what? Everything we worked on is what we've been doing.
Wow.
I said, that's why I gave it to you.
Right.
I said, literally, people get caught up in all these footwork, these guys that do these footwork drills and all that stuff. I said, can you turn this into football plays and show these veteran guys you can help them win football games? I said, that's all they care about as a vet, especially from an undrafted rookie receiver in Colorado. So me and him are real close, and I look forward to helping them any way I can.
Well, I got to connect you with Alfred, because Alfred has a total different take on passing down the knowledge that he has.
Alfred tried to keep it all.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, you don't want to die with all that.
Alfred's selfish, man. We don't. We
gotta have a meeting with Big Al.
Hey, yeah. Hey, Al was one of the best, though. I'm telling you,
Al,
he dominated Colorado. He came back to Denver. And man, Alfred, I still remember him diving out the
interception.
When somebody hit Jeff Blake right in the face, and Alfred picked up the fumble against the Bengals at home, and he dove from the 5-yard line.
Oh, that right, yeah, the touchdown he had.
Yeah. That is one of my favorite plays of Alfred Williams of all time.
Yeah. So Warren Jackson, what did you like about his game? I mean, he's a super big receiver.
He's tall and he's long, and one of the things I do is I watch them run routes. I ain't gonna tell all my secrets because I can sell them. But I'm not selling
the master class, right?
Yeah. But one thing I told him was, I said, as a big guy, you got to learn to play small, because there's gonna be times when you need to make a tough, tight throw, a tough, tight catch, and you do that from being able to play small. He has long stride, and long stride you slip and fall. That's what I used to do my rookie year until Coach Heimerdinger took me over there and showed me how to run routes. So I showed him how to play a little choppy when he needs to be and get in and out of breaks and use his size.
There's a guy, Rod, that I know you love, Tim Patrick. He calls himself a football player, just like you. What do you like about his game? It seems like he's the complete package, special teams, out on the edge. He's got all the skills.
You know what, man? Tim came up the same way. He was hungry, man. You get moved around a little bit in this business, nothing's guaranteed. And one thing I loved about Tim is he took advantage of every opportunity he got with the Broncos. I mean, you would see him late in games, the balls were going up, and the guy coming off the bench who would catch it would be 81. and he was making plays like all the time. You rarely saw a ball that touched his hand that hit the ground, and plus he was covering kicks, and plus he was doing. Like he said, he plays football because he's saying anything I can do to keep these cleats on my feet, I'm willing to do. And I'm really happy for him that he got a chance to touch the ball a lot more last year.
Hey, let's turn folks a little bit to Jerry Jeudy. Last year he had a good finish to the season. He did have some struggles throughout the season, though, some drops. What would you tell a guy? Is it just getting more catches, more jugs? What is it? And it seems sometimes like when there's a defender there about to make a hit, sometimes he gave it up. How can you improve the focus as a receiver?
More reps. You got to get more reps, man.
But you got to get hit too?
Yeah, you got to get some game reps. And one thing for him, I follow him on Instagram, and he said he's like overly excited about getting back to playing football, man, because we all know, and like I said, out of all the receivers in the draft last year, Jerry Jeudy was my #1 guy. And I was like, and the other guys had between Jefferson and Ruggs and C.D. Lamb and all these dudes, they had some tremendous years based off of their circumstances. And I think Jerry's going to have an amazing year. Year 2 is usually better in the NFL than year 1 for a lot of times, because now you understand the whole game, not just your game.
So, but the mentality, though, I mean, does his mentality have to change to improve the drops, or is it just concentration, or is it just more reps? It's just simply more reps.
I think the concentration, because you have a high expectation of yourself, and his concentration level is already up high. And one thing I love about playing receiver is you don't need to tell somebody when you're wrong. Everybody knows because the ball hit the ground.
Right.
If the ball hit your hands and hit the ground, that's the part that everybody sees. But it's a mental part to this game that people don't really focus on. And I think that's, like you were saying, you got to get mentally tough. They call it mentally tough, because just knowing I'm going to get hit regardless. Yeah. Let me just go ahead and make this play and get up from there.
The thing that I liked about him, though, is he took responsibility.
Absolutely.
He didn't, blame the quarterback or, say my hands were slippery. He just, hey, I got to get better. And that's when you see that trait in players, I think they have the ability to improve. I think everybody has the ability to improve, but, especially when you take responsibility for it.
Yeah, one thing it's going to do, because you got to remember, he's working with a young quarterback. He's a young guy. And when you can actually own up to your part of the deal, the quarterback builds confidence in you. And so now he's like, oh, that's my guy. I've been working with him now for 2 years, and they'll feel like they've been working together for 5 years. This year, I'll see. I think with him and Drew, nothing against Teddy, but I think with him and Drew, you'll see a better chemistry.
After all of this wide receivers talk, it's probably a good time to now go down to Alexis Perry, who had a chance to catch up with number 10, Jerry Jeudy. Alexis, what was Jerry able to tell you yesterday about day 1 of camp?
Yeah, Matt, yesterday, day 1, it was really a perfect day 1 showing for the guy. I mean, he came out here, he caught everything thrown within his general vicinity, including a touchdown grab from Drew Lock late for a touchdown. Like I mentioned, it really couldn't have been a better showing for him, given the fact that, like you guys have mentioned, he had a tough rookie season. He had more drops than anyone, including himself, would have ever expected. But when I spoke to him after practice yesterday, it was clear last year's mistakes and the pressure to take the leap in year 2 was the furthest things from his mind. Jerry said he's more focused and relaxed this year because he knows the playbook so much better, and he knows he can really execute it. He also added, kind of like what Tim Patrick has said in the past, that he just wants to take advantage of every opportunity he's given on this stage. So far, just 1 full day into camp, he's been doing a great job of that. As one of the young separators in this game, one of the best young separators in the game, Jerry Jeudy is exactly the kind of player that can help even the most experienced corners improve their game as well. Now, one guy who's tasked with covering Jerry Jeudy in camp this year is the veteran corner Ronald Darby, who was acquired by the Broncos as an unrestricted free agent this past offseason. Phil Milani talked to him a little while ago to get his impressions of Jerry Jeudy and the stacked Broncos receiving corps.
Ron, you got day 1 under your belt. How did things feel out there the first day?
It felt real good. I felt a lot more comfortable because of OTAs and, mini camp. So it was just good to get back out there and move around.
What kind of things do you like to work on during training camp to make sure you're ready for week 1 of the regular season?
Everything, to be honest. Like, I make sure I put in extra time in between periods, whether I'm working on my press, working on my hands, or just learning from one of the older guys.
How do you feel you're comfortable with this defense now? You mentioned the off-season program, but you feel good with your chemistry with the other guys out there?
Yeah, I feel real good. Like I said, in OTAs, it taught me a lot of how people like to play, where they like to be, communication keys. So it feels real good.
One of the things they like to talk about around here is iron sharpens iron. You know, the defense makes the offense better, the offense makes the defense better. What do you think about this wide receiver core?
It's a real talented core. You got people with speed, size, both, and they're aggressive on the ball, and they real good route runners. So you get a lot of good work in every day.
Jeudy, one of those route runners?
Yeah, he one of them for sure.
All right, thanks, Ron. I'll let you get back out there. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Phil. When you think of Ronald Darby, Kyle Fuller, Bryce Callahan, Justin Simmons, Kareem Jackson, you guys, this Broncos secondary this year is going to be filthy. Am I right, Matt?
You are absolutely right, Alexis. After the 2020 season, it was apparent the Broncos were going to make depth in the secondary a priority. As we take a look at some of the numbers from last season, only 10 interceptions by the Broncos secondary last year. That's something Vic Fangio and George Paton wanted to stress this offseason, getting those takeaway numbers up. This was a group that was hampered by injuries more than most. They lost both of their top two corners, A.J. Boye and Bryce Callahan, last year. And it was the third-round rookie, guys, Michael O.J. Mudia, who tallied the most starts of any corner in 2020. Rod, we usually don't see teams take supersonic jumps forward year to year, position group to position group, but this Broncos secondary looks like they could make that jump, right?
Yeah, you know what? You got to remember, we were always used to having a lot more pressure on the quarterbacks. And even though we had great corners with Harris and Talib, and we've always had from Crockett and all those guys back in the day, but it really starts up front. And last year we got picked on a lot. You know, we got picked on a lot by some teams, and they knew we had some rookies out there. They knew we had some young guys out there. You know what? That's what we did on offense. We looked for what you would feel inexperienced. It ain't a matter of he's weak. He's inexperienced to what we're going to bring to him. And I think the coach has done a great job of saying, hey, we got to fix these spots, and they address those spots.
Yeah, no, that's good. I agree with you 100%. And you know, with the guys that we have in there, that we have, you know, not only the draft pick Pat Surtain, but
yes,
you know, the corners and then the leaders that we have at the safety position. I think that a lot of those problems will be resolved, and they made sure that it was a priority to take care of that.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see us being, because here's what happens when you get a little bit more experience. Like when you get a little bit more experience, you can be a little bit more aggressive on defense, because you got guys who can communicate and they understand each other. They got the leader back there with Simmons, man. They got the best, they got the best guy back there to lead them and put them in, and like he's the quarterback for that defense in the secondary. And he's had, of course, Pro Bowl year. So now you get him some pieces to work with, and I think he can make those guys be a little bit more aggressive and help them shine.
Now, as a wide receiver, what was it about cornerbacks that made offense difficult? You know, was it their disguise? Was it them being physical at the line of scrimmage, or was it just their quickness and ability to, you know, be able to be agile right when you're making your break? What was difficult for you?
Dude, I played against, I think 7 of the guys I played against, like on a consistent basis, in the Hall of Fame at corner. Wow. Only at corner. Between Deion Sanders and Champ Bailey, you know, who played here, of course, forever. Darryl Green. I mean, all these dudes in the freaking Hall of Fame. Aeneas Williams, these guys that you went against. And what about them was anticipation. They were good at understanding film. They were understanding coverages. They understood down and distance. They knew tendencies from coaches and things like that. And the way I learned to actually counter them was what I learned from Mike Heimerdinger. That's my man, love him to death, God rest his soul.
Right,
but what he taught me was, see, I started studying coordinators, because the coordinator tells that guy where to go.
Yeah.
So I want to know where he was going to go based off of the guy who told him where to go. So I based my game not off of just that person, but the person who could kind of control him. Like, I called him the puppet master. That's what I used to call him.
Oh, man, how difficult was that, though? I mean, how difficult would that be for a young guy, Pat Surtain? But he probably got it from his dad, too. You know.
Yeah, I played against his dad. Hell,
Right.
He's one of the twos on the list. Between his dad and my man Sam Madison and god dang James Hasty and Dale Carter, I can go. Trust me, they should be in the Hall of Fame, too.
Right.
Their time is probably going to come. Man, it was all them dudes at the Raiders, from McDaniels, all them dudes, man. I'm telling you, I had nightmares of them dudes, but I knew for us to win, I had to understand something they didn't, and I understood coverages.
Yeah.
See, when you understand coverages, you know where the weak spots are, and so that's that masterclass 2.0. That's the different part. First, you got to let the guy know where he's going, then you understand where they're going, and now you can really take advantage.
So, they can be better by disguising. Does that help when you disguise as a defense?
Exactly. See, here's the thing. You know why you can't disguise with young guys? They get in the wrong spot.
Right.
They're not good with disguise. Disguise to them mean, well, why you got me starting over here? I'm supposed to be over here. Because, in the playbook, they don't move.
Right.
Stagnant, right?
One place.
And so I know my plays. Coach, I'm supposed to be over here. Listen, start right here, and the snap count, then move over there. But I'm going to be out of position. So now you can't do that. But when you get year 2, 3, 4 in, you're like, wait a minute. I know where I need to end up. They coming out the snap. I got plenty of time. And those are the guys that were difficult.
Oh, man, yeah. And I've had the difficulties playing with a couple of players who didn't understand that concept.
Don't say their names.
No. It's not a big deal, but it's like, all right, we want to show cover 2 every time.
Yes.
And we got a guy, he's just going to stay at 8 yards and stare at the tight end when we have cover 1. And, like, the quarterback knows. Get back, man.
You can always find – here's the thing. On tape, you can always find the weak link of the disguise.
Who's going to give it up?
That one guy one guy's like, listen, you know he got the fake nose on? He's a black guy, but the nose is white. They're like, dude, they know that ain't your nose. You know what I'm saying? So he's that guy. He's terrified. Like, if I be out of position, Steve going to yell at me, then the coach going to yell at me. So I'm going to ease in there a little bit. Like, oh, that's not cover 2. Yeah. That's quarters. Or that's man free. Safety going to roll over the top. You want to know who one of the best actually got a jacket just like his? Ed Reed. Ed Reed and freaking Palomalu, he going to – I played against them too, by the way. Those dudes would be lined up at linebacker. And hell, he be in cover 2.
Cover 2.
Like, how the hell he in that back over here? But that's the way the game is, man. That's why they were the greats. That's why they all got those jackets, because they were good at disguise, and at the end of the day, they end up making plays.
Speaking of greats, the Broncos secondary in 1997 and 1998, one of the best in franchise history. And a big reason for that, they had great coaching. And a man who is a coach on that staff is a man who is a coach on this staff. And I'm talking, of course, about Ed Donatel. Now, the defensive coordinator, Sidney Jones caught up with Ed prior to practice today to get the scoop on this year's team and a little info on a couple of guys Ed used to coach back in the day.
Day 2 training camp, Coach Donatel, after all of these years of camp for you, do you still get excited?
Absolutely. And that's the one neat thing about football. It's a new year every year, a new beginning. But I still have the same excitement I had 31 years ago.
What do you want to see from this defense over the next couple weeks?
We want to come together. We want to bring the new faces and integrate them in the players we had. We have an expectation. We want to be a top defense in this league. So it's about the hard work and the knowledge right now that we're working on.
I know Bradley Chubb, he didn't participate in team drills yesterday, but he says his ankle's feeling good. What expectations do you have for him and Von Miller this year as they're back together?
Yeah, they're the backbone of our defense. They get things going. They set the edge. They rush the passer. They're just very important guys. We need to get them out there. They're coming. They're all on proper progress to be both on the field together soon.
Now, I know it's only day 2, but what have you seen from Pat Surtain, in the offseason? What do you want to see him focus on over the next couple weeks?
Well, he plays a lot of positions for us, and he's such a hard worker, a real good student of the game, and, he's gelled with our veterans, and that's the most important thing.
All right, Coach Donatel, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Sidney. Ed Donatel's career, guys, it spanned 30 years in the NFL, and the only way that happens is by being incredibly good at your craft. So, we may be biased here on this stage, but what do you guys see from Ed? Why has he been so successful and has sustained this length of success in the NFL?
Well, I think, personally, having been coached by him, he's a student of the game, one, and he's a very good teacher. He knows how to communicate, knows how to get his point across, and he doesn't use one method of coaching for everybody. He kind of will adjust it for different guys based on how he interacts with them, and I think that's the trait of a great coach, being able to, see that different people learn differently and to be able to teach them in the way that appeals to them.
Man, everything he said is just so right on. People don't know that Ed actually taught me.
Really?
See, y'all didn't know this. No, let me tell you what he did. I actually, if y'all don't have my book, The Rod Effect, I'm not trying to plug the book.
Plug
you
it,
can get
man.
it for free.
Hey, plug it. It's okay.
No, you can get it for free. It's an ebook. You can get the ebook for free, or you can get the hardcover. I'll sign it for you. I wrote about Ed Donatel in my book. When we used to have our locker room right over there where I think the kitchen cafeteria is at now, I was a young guy, my second year in the league, coming off the practice squad, and I'm working out with some.
That wasn't locker room. That was the weight room.
Yeah, it was the weight room. It was the weight room, and I'm working out with some corners, some young corners, and Ed was their coach. He was the corner. He was the corner coach. He's the secondary coach. He wanted the defensive coordinator, and he came in there when we was working out. He said, "Hey man, if you stay here with me this offseason, I can make you $1 million a year corner." This is what he told my buddy, and I'm sitting there. You know, I'm a receiver, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like. I said, bro, you know what he told you? We first of all, he was drafted real late, and I was undrafted. So he said he can make you $1 million a year corner. And I'm thinking, he's, oh, yeah, now I'm going to go to my school and work. I said, bro, did you hear what he said? I said, man, I was just praying some coach would tell me that one day, right? My buddy went, left to go work out. I stayed in the offseason. I'm out there every day, just going every day. Remember, I never missed a workout. One day I was working out, I'm dead. And Ed came in. He said, hey, man, I see you. I said, what's up, coach? He said, I see you out there, man. You're working hard every day. He said, I promise you. He said, one day you're gonna cash the check. I said, what do you mean? He said, come out here every day and you put in the work. He said, right now you're making money, you just don't see it. At the time, I'm broke as hell. So I'm like, well, where the money at, coach? I need to get some of this money you talk about. He said, Rod, I promise you, just keep putting in the work and one day you'll cash the check. 2 years later, we won the Super Bowl. I got a new contract. I actually gave his kids some money because his message, dude, as a young guy, when you're trying to make it, the teacher, he was teaching me, don't focus on the money, just focus on the work. And I literally kept that my whole life to this day. You know, I still do that because Ed Donatell, and I wrote about it in my book, because sometimes you don't know where your blessing gonna come from. He didn't have, when he's a coach on the team, and he's looking out for everybody. He just saw me out there every day just hitting it. Remember, his guy that he wanted was gone. But I was there every day, and that honestly, it changed my career.
You know what's amazing about that is also you put the work in, you're on the field, and a lot of people don't realize those glass windows up there, they can see out.
Everything.
And they see everything that's going on this field, and they know who's putting the work in and who's out here loafing, who's lacking. So kudos to you for putting in that work. Yeah. And, hey, that's a great message that these guys need to hear, especially young guys who drafted late or free agents. That's a great message, man. Just, you got to put the work in.
Let me say this, too, for some of you guys out there who watch this, you college guys, you high school kids. Y'all went through hell last year just like the rest of the world with COVID. When you didn't get a chance to show on the field what you could do, and you got some old tape and this and that, and this year may be your senior year, or this year may be your freshman year in college, and you didn't get to go to the school that you wanted to go to. Show out where you at. Wherever you are, show out right there. Don't quit worrying about the past, because everybody went through it. And I see a lot of people want to use last year as an excuse. I say, you know what? It's only an excuse for those who make an excuse. It's an opportunity for those who make an opportunity. So all of us went through it. If you're supposed to shine, show us. Simple as that.
Probably know you're going to get church today, too.
Yeah, you get church today. No, you know what? I've been on my grandsons about that, man. It's life is, no one's going to come hand you stuff. This football, guys, and you know, we got a lot of stuff going on with mental health and athletes. I want to just address it real quick, not to make a topic, but guys, we're people too. We go through just as much as the guy who's working hard, who works at the bank or around the corner, doing whatever he does. It's hard for all of us. You know, they look at it because, you know, you got cameras and stuff out here that it's easy. Guys, it's actually probably harder because you don't watch what you did at your job with your boss every day. We do. Everything out here is filmed.
Oh, yeah.
They, like he said, those windows, they see out and they record everything that we do. And it's hard to go with your boss and say, what did you do yesterday so that I don't fire you today?
Right.
It's a mental part that's tough. It's very tough.
Man, that's a great message. And all employees all over the place.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a great message.
All of us going through it right now. I don't care where you work.
They got Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock, number 3 and number 5, the primary quarterback competition. Man, this is gonna be fun to watch both of these guys battle. And I like both of their. They both have a great mentality of competing, but also keeping it on a professional level. What does that do for the team when they see their quarterbacks battling, but also keeping it clean and you know, making sure that they're respecting the other opponent, the other teammate?
You know what, man? This is a battle regardless. No, if you're on this football field, remember, it's about 70-something, 80 guys. They only get to keep about 60. So it's a battle, you know what I'm saying? And I do like what I've heard from both guys. They both bring a different skill set. They both bring a different level of experience. And I think, here's the deal. as an organization, we won. When you got two guys have to be on top of their game because they know that the next guy wants the same spot that they want. And I think they'll both have, and there'll be a time will tell who starts, but I think both guys, we're going to need them both at some point in time this season in order to get to where we want to go.
I was going to ask you, Rod, does the competition really end once they name a starter? Because it sounds like these guys, from what you just said, the competition, they might have named a starter, but these guys are going to be competing all year long.
You know what? It's very rare, and I think there's some stats on it. The NFL has stats on everything. People who take every snap, besides Justin Simmons, he's the only one I know take every snap. But honestly, like Peyton Manning at quarterback for like 6-7 years, he's the only guy that took all the snaps for the Colts, right? And when he never took all the snaps with the Broncos. So that backup guy he's not really a backup. He's just waiting his opportunity to make some plays. Yep. Guys get hurt, guys get dinged up. You talk about guys, from a cramping up and dehydration and arm soreness or whatever the case may be. Quarterback throws the ball, hits a helmet or a shoulder pad. Stuff happens. Both guys got to be ready to be the starter. And Mike Shanahan used to say it all the time, you're one play away from being a starter. Yep. And if you say I'm a backup and you have that mentality, you're not going to be in this league that long.
Yeah, it is amazing, but it takes discipline, too, to go and put that work in, knowing that, hey, there's a good chance you may not play unless somebody gets injured. And, there are quite a bit of injuries, but, relatively speaking, the numbers are still low, and the chance of those backups, actually have to come out and start are low. But you got to stay disciplined.
Yeah. And that's why paying attention to details, man, is so important as an athlete on and off the field. Like the one thing I like, when we were talking about camp earlier, the reason I like camp in Greeley, I couldn't go home and do nothing dumb. Because in Greeley, there was nothing for us to do, right? We didn't have time. No, I love going to Greeley, man. I mean, because we were so isolated. Yep. We had only time I would run to Wendy's and get a chicken sandwich, not pub and Wendy's, but I would go to Wendy's, get me a chicken sandwich. And at night, we only had like 45 minutes before curfew. So you didn't have time to go do, that was nice. Oh, that was nice.
Tim Patrick.
That was nice, my man, TP. Get him, Tim. No, that ball was perfect. That ball was perfect.
Yeah, we're going to see this pass, Teddy Bridgewater. Oh, man, right on the money.
Hey, yeah, give him a chance, get his feet in. See, one thing about Teddy, Teddy throws on time. If you look at when the play was developing, there was a guy underneath. Mm-hmm. But he throws on time. He gave him plenty of room, get his feet down. That was awesome.
Man, this is going to be an interesting battle. Also, we got Javonte Williams in there at running back position.
Melvin?
Oh, my goodness. I think the two of them could be an amazing tandem. What do you like about Javonte Williams as a running back?
Man, that kid is hungry, man. I'm telling you, you can tell. You can just tell when kids are hungry. Man, all of them are hungry, but you know what? You got to get some reps, and you getting reps with the first group early on. That's a good sign. You know what I'm saying? That's always a good sign because, remember, experience comes only with reps. And so you got to get these guys as many as they can before we get to we're limited on preseason games. And so you got to show what you can do in practice.
Yeah. Speaking of running backs, let's head down to Alexis Perry. Alexis, Rod just mentioned it. There's a lot of hunger. No matter if you're a rookie or a veteran like Melvin Gordon, there's a lot of hunger in that running backs room.
Yeah, there sure is, Matt, given the fact that this running backs room has ranked, middle of the pack, 18th or worse in every ground game statistical category for the last 5 years. So like Jeff Legwold pointed out yesterday during this show, historically the Broncos only keep 3 running backs on this roster here. So, they have so much talent at the position, and probably more than they'll be able to keep, as a few fresh faces that you guys should keep an eye out on include Javonte Williams and Mike Boone. The former being the man Denver traded up from 40 to 35 to snatch up in the most recent draft, and the latter being a favorite of George Payne's from his time in Minnesota, who can certainly carve out a role for himself on special teams. So, will it be another year of splitting carries for Melvin Gordon, or could Javonte Williams fight for the majority of the touches and find himself in the bell cow back role? Hopefully, Noshawn Moreno will have some great insight into this position battle when he joins our training camp live show tomorrow, right, Steve?
Yes, hopefully he will. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll have quite a bit to comment on about the running backs. Man,
it's gonna be good.
With bringing in Mike Boone and knowing that Royce Freeman was here last year, and I thought Royce Freeman had a nice year last year as a backup running back. This is a deep running back roster. I mean, I would say across the board they're pretty deep. But man, how do you get?
You know what? Here's the thing: you can keep 4 if they ballers.
Yeah, somebody got to be on special teams.
Hey, you know what? That's called playing football.
That's right.
You don't just get to play your position when you ain't. Even as a starter, I was still on special teams.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how you get to pick one spot and call it good. No, the only person who do that is the quarterback. The rest of us got to play a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I think we got a good mix. You know what? I was actually with some workouts with some receivers earlier this summer, and I actually got a chance to talk to Royce and Philip Lindsay both. And I like Royce. I'm telling you right now.
Me too.
I personally think if Royce Freeman gets some experience, which is some carries, some more carries, I think he could be that guy. I want him to get the chance because I know they got to go and make the siding and they got money issues and all this other stuff. But I believe if Royce Freeman gets some carries, some good quality carries, Royce Freeman is going to be a guy. They're going to be like, wait a minute, now we got a chance of having 3 starting running backs. But that's what you want. That's what you want.
Yeah, I mean, and competition brings that out too. And you know, the fans, everybody will be able to see. Man, we got 3-4 guys here that deserve to be on this team, and you know, even Levante Bellamy, I like his game. I mean,
you liked him. You liked him last year.
Yeah, out of Western Michigan, super fast guy. Mike Boone, the free agent that signed. He was with the Vikings. He was with George Payton up in Minnesota. Great hands out of the backfield. Great vision. I think Broncos country is going to be pleasantly surprised when they see the display that these running backs are going to put on for them.
You know what? Based off something you just said, you got to give it up to George Payton for bringing this all. He like, hey, I'm throwing all of. I got one. Like, it's almost like he got one shot. You know what I'm saying? Like he got a 1-year contract. Right. So George operated like he got a 1-year contract. I'm throwing everything I got at it. But he and I had a conversation earlier this year, and you know what? We got to get the franchise turned around. The last few years have not been up to par to what our standards are, and new regime said, hey, listen, I'm gonna mix it up, and that's why you see we just saw 3 breakout runs, you know, from 3 different guys, and you know, of course, when the pads on and the guys can hit, it'll be a little different. But remember, with limited preseason games, you're gonna have to your number, every carry you get is important.
Yeah. Man,
pass protection.
Just think about that, though. I mean, with only 3 preseason games,
that hurts. I'm gonna be honest. For me, I don't like it. I was a guy on the bubble all the time.
Right.
Nice ball.
But with 3 preseason games, you got to be strategic in how much your starters are playing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to see what's what.
First game, last game, they getting pretty much no reps. So you really got the second game, which they'll get some reps. And then you got to mix everybody else in. Oh, it's difficult. It's very difficult to give a guy an honest assessment, but that's why practice is so important.
Right.
But this is why you can't miss reps in practice. See, your body got to be so on point that I can't miss any of the reps I can get in practice.
Yeah.
None. Because they got to evaluate it now to sort it out. Hey, that's a good job on defense right there. He hit him, but hey, he felt the hole.
Yeah, Tusker.
he filled that hole though real quick. I like that.
It was a non-padded thud.
Yeah. And when you see a guy go back, and no pads, that actually hurts more than anybody will ever know.
Like, man, I don't have shoulder pads on.
Yeah.
Wait till we get the pads on next week.
Yeah. No, it's that pad level's a little high when there's no pad. But when they got them pads on, it's a little bit different game, you know, on offense.
When the pads came on, Steve never hit you in practice, did he?
Dude,
no,
Steve
I would never hit you. Come on, man. I would never hit you.
Man, I thought we had something there. But no, Steve hit me one time in practice in Greeley. You don't remember that?
That was the last time, though.
Hey, no, that's the one I remember. Because I can't remember everything else. After that, I don't remember nothing. But no, he hit me in practice one time. I said, bro, if you ever hit me like that again.
I helped you up.
I said, we ain't friends no more. If you ever hit me like that
again.
Did I
help you up, though?
Yeah, he helped me up, but you did almost kill me. So you should have helped me up.
I apologize, too.
Yeah, that's a sad part. Steve Mr. Nice Guy, right? He hit me in practice. Back in the day, you could hit in practice. These guys don't get hit in practice. He hit me, but he let off. I went back real quick, hit the ground. I said, bro, don't you ever hit me like that again, man. We ain't going to be friends. Hey, I helped you up. I apologize.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, man. I wasn't trying to do it.
See, look at that. There goes another big run, big run right there. You know,
that's a crock. That's another crock. That's a crock.
Hey, man, that's what I'm talking about. He's supposed to rock 39 as a Crockett, man. He better not get no other jersey around here.
Right.
No, hey, hopefully, you know what I'm saying? I want to see, and I've always said this since I got in the league, since I've been out in I don't know how many years it's been now. I want to see every one of these guys get a chance to live their NFL dream, man. It is hard. It's hard to be out here, and it's harder to stay out here.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand.
It's hard to get here?
Hard to get here, and it's harder to stay. Yeah. And where you can get some years under your belt. You know, Melvin Gordon, 7 years, you know, but I'm telling you, man, some of these guys are now seeing how precious these years are as professional athletes. A lot of, you know, with Demaryius Thomas retiring, you see some guys that we were just cheering for him not too long ago, and now they sitting there like they hanging him up. And it's crazy. T.J. Ward, I followed T.J. on a lot of stuff. Loved his game when he was here. You know, a lot of guys like that.
Yeah, no, you're right. And, you know, I wanted to talk. I'm sorry, I didn't hate to switch subjects on you. But I was thinking just about Courtland Sutton.
Yeah.
And, you know, talking about the work that it takes to get here, and then to get here and to have an injury that Courtland Sutton had. And he's making a heck of a comeback. He looks great out there right now. He's out there getting reps. Man, have you ever had to go through an injury like that? What he's going through with the ACL, and then
I had an ACL tear. I had my ACL tear in college, and they told me because of the magnitude of the ACL tear I had, they told me I would never play football again.
Yeah, because the technology back then, that was
it was the Stone Ages back then. I did it.
You got the binding knee now. Right?
Yeah, but honestly, it's like you said though. I was disciplined with my regimen of getting back, and I ended up coming back my senior year. And I had a real good year. You know, I was All-American and everything. But my junior year, I had some tremendous numbers and was ranked high and then you go take an AC injury, you're out for the year. And for him to come back, it's a lot more mental. And he and I have had some conversations when I got a chance to rap to him that when I was here earlier this year. And man, that guy is focused. I mean, we saw the big plays that he could make. And then Tim took over when he got the chance to make the plays that Courtland didn't get. And now Jerry's going to get a chance to make some plays. And so they got some other guys that receive it too. Man, they got George threw the whole thing in there. George said, hey, I'm giving you 5 or 6 guys at every position. Coach, y'all figure it out. But here you go. Here's the ingredients. Make a cake.
Yeah. Now coming back from that with Courtland, what do you think is most difficult? I mean, I know the mental part, but like, you know, when they run routes, you gotta stop really quick and plan. And I see them even when they do those drills in practice. I'm like, but that would tear my knees up now. It looks so painful when they stop. Just even when they're healthy.
Yeah.
So is that an issue for them? You know, trying to stop and trying to plan, or you need to just get used to that again?
No, you know what? Honestly, that is an issue because it's still mental. You don't know. And here's another thing too. It depends on how you got your knee hurt. Okay. You see what I'm saying? I've played with Orlandis Gary. Orlandis Gary tore his ACL and rushed for 125 yards that day.
The same day?
Yeah.
You talking about?
Yeah. 2000,
after it was hurt?
Running back, Orlandis Gary.
Orlandis Gary was hurt?
Against St. Louis.
Yeah, Orlandis Gary was in the game, tore his ACL in like the second quarter. Finished the game, then they go evaluate, say he tore his ACL.
Wow.
But so, of course, then he's done. But it's just those types of things which are tough is I got speared in the knee. So for me, that's probably not going to be the way, you know, I wasn't gun shy about that. I was just based off stability. Yeah. See, the way Courtland hurt his knee is the kind of, remember, if you're running around and hurt your knee, so now you're thinking, is my stuff stable enough? You know, I've done the machine.
He wasn't running around, he was making a tackle.
Which is even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're making a tackle and tear your ACL as a receiver. That lets you know that was a bad play all around.
So he may be doing like Tom Brady next time, like, there's the interception.
Hey, he said, I don't get paid to tackle. But honestly, Courtland's disciplined. Courtland's been here all year. Courtland's been living at this freaking facility, man, and giving himself a chance. You know, the thing is, I think he's going into year 4. This is year 4 for Courtland. So you know what? Leadership role. So he's leading too now. He's just not playing. And I remember when Demaryius had that transition, I said, dude, even though you're doing this, a little bit more vocal because they expect it.
Now, what week did Courtland get hurt?
It was against the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 2 of last year.
Which was a good thing. I mean, it's not a good thing that he got injured, obviously, but that it was that early in the season that he had plenty of time to rehab it and get it strong, and that's why we're able to see him out here on the field today. So.
Yeah, the start camp. Most times you don't get to start camp when you have an injury like that. Make a play. Good job on D.
There we go.
Good job on D. It's a good job of him not coming over his back to, you know, I ain't gonna lie, that'd have been me. I'm climbing. Hey, I gotta make a team. I'm climbing his back. I'm face masking. I'm pulling him down. That might be the only ball they threw to me that day. And they got cameras out there. I got to make that play.
Right.
But no, it's a great job on defense.
Let me see what that was. I think it was 38.
You know who I'm excited for this year? This is gonna be way off topic.
Who?
Not
Who's
really
that,
off topic, you know, because Coach Fangio. You know why? Because I think he now can kind of own the team. You know, be the figurehead that he needs to be. A lot of the pieces are in place that he get to bring in here. And sometimes as a coach just coming in, you inherit a lot of other people's stuff. And oh no, that's not good.
There we go. Caden Stearns.
Okay.
Rookie safety
out
of Texas.
The quarterback gets fined in our team. You know what? He threw the interception. He didn't chase until late. See, once he threw it, he stood there like, oh, I threw the interception. No, he didn't chase. Oh, it happened to Elway. Oh, it happened to Elway one time. John threw a pick. John threw a pick in practice. I think we ended up finding John $50. He threw a pick. He didn't chase, and the dude scored a touchdown. So, yeah, remember, you know, we had a fine system for everything we did on offense, but that made us so much better. And I think one year we had so much money in our fine jar. I think we bought 100 and some bikes for kids.
That's awesome.
That year. We literally, because I was the treasurer. I collected money. I would go in guys' wallets. If you owed us some money, you owe us $5, we want our money.
I was going to say, who's collecting?
No, I was the collector. Yeah, I think Coach Fangio going to have a great year because I think he finally can own the ingredients of this with him and George. And even though John and all the scouts have done a great job of giving us a chance to compete.
Yeah, I agree. You know, he's a defensive specialist.
Make that. Oh, it's PI. We're going to take PI on that. Show the replay. Show the replay. Show the replay. I'm telling you, PI.
Wide receivers always talk about pass interference, man. That was a clean play.
Watch him. Watch this. He held his arm down, right arm. Watch, he pulled the right arm down.
Nope, didn't.
PI all day.
Oh, man, that's clean.
That's PI.
That's clean.
Dude, show it again. Replay. You see Jerry holding his hand up? Jerry, you get that in year 7. You don't get that right now in year 2. Year 7, they'll give it to you. It took me forever to start getting some calls. I never got no calls, so I figured I better catch it.
Oh, man.
No, that.
Let's take a break from the action right now. Head down to Alexis Perry. Alexis, the fans are back, and so is the media, and you've got one of our favorites standing right next to you.
Yeah, I have the man from The Fan, Cecil Lammey, like you guys know, writer and radio host at 104.3 The Fan. Cease, you know, the guys were just talking about it. Was that a PI call?
Yeah, that was totally PI. I mean, Jerry Jeudy's going to go up and he's going to get it, and he didn't that time because he was interfered with. So I was over here throwing the imaginary flag.
Yeah, Rod said that in year 7, Jerry Jeudy would pick that one up, but year 2, probably not.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Get a little more savvy as he goes on, right?
Well, day 1, we have to talk about the quarterback competition as of yesterday. You said Drew Lock won the day. What did you see yesterday, and what have you seen so far today?
Yeah, what I've seen so far today is Drew is doing a good job of taking what the defense is giving him, something that he has to do. And in fact, I wanted to see him do maybe even a little bit more of it yesterday, because yesterday he had those 2 big throws. You know, one's to Trinity Benson, one's to Jerry Jeudy. The Jeudy one meant a little bit more because of the talent that was on display at the time. You're not going against the 3rd-string defense. The one to Trinity completed against Parnell Motley, so it's okay. Well, now he's completing against better guys when you're going up and throwing it to Jerry Jeudy. So with the big plays, we know he can do that. What I need to see more from Drew Lock is short, intermediate throws. How does he work, you know, when he maybe wants to take that big shot, but he doesn't? He hesitates and he takes what the defense gives him. That's the smart play, and that's something we're seeing more and more from Drew Lock today.
Okay, so if you give Drew Lock day 1, obviously that means Teddy Bridgewater lost day 1, but how's he doing today?
Yeah, and I hate to say lost because it was so close. I mean, it was razor thin, but you give the edge because there was a play where you look at Tyree Cleveland, who didn't catch a beautifully thrown pass, deep pass, end zone from Teddy Bridgewater yesterday. You get Bridgewater that catch, which it was a great placed football, then then it's even closer. I might have even given the edge to Teddy. But with Teddy, it's smart, it's accurate, it's short and intermediate. He definitely works what the defense shows. He makes quick decisions, so he's never holding on to the ball too long, and he knows where to go with the football. He understands defense. You'll see coverage change from time to time as guys rotate around. You're not going to confuse Teddy Bridgewater. So he's out there working short to intermediate, and then once in a while taking those deep shots. But yesterday, Tyree Cleveland didn't come down with that deep shot. Today, Timmy Pats over here on the sideline did just that.
Who seems to be the favorite target for both of these guys so far? In 2 days worth of camp, you know, so it's early, but who do you think's the favorite?
Well, if I include OTAs and mandatory minicamp, we know it's Jeudy with Teddy Bridgewater. They're both precision players. Jeudy at Alabama was a guy that's going to cut a rug. He's going to get open. You know he can break ankles and create separation with his great route running ability. That's timing. That's precision. Teddy Bridgewater is your timing and precision quarterback. So their two chemistry is outstanding. Yesterday, Drew Lock did show better chemistry with Jeudy than he did last year when Jeudy was a rookie. So that was good to see. And when Courtland Sutton is here to do more, as he's limited so far, of course, coming back from the knee injury, when Sutton does more, Sutton will be that favorite target, I think, for both, but honestly for Drew Lock.
Well, we all know the quarterback competition will continue to dominate our Twitter timelines for the next, I don't even know how long, hopefully not as long as we all expect it to be. But another position battle that we should be talking about a little bit more, the running backs. Obviously, yes. Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams. Pookie Williams, I vividly remember you on Broncos Beat. You were ecstatic when the Broncos traded up for him. What can fans realistically expect from him here in year one?
1,000 yards. I mean, it doesn't matter if Gordon or Williams is the starter. It's a 17-game season. You have a team that wants to run the ball. I think what we're seeing in 2 days so far from the Broncos, it's so awesome. You're seeing identity come forward from this team. We know defensively they're going to be very physical. They're going to be the bully. Offensively, they're going to be the bully as well. With Gordon running the rock, Melvin Gordon looks fantastic out here. Looks leaner, definitely faster. But Pookie Williams, and it's the reason why I called my shot when he had his pro day. And I said, hey, the Broncos need a guy like this because 75 broken tackles, leading all of FBS players last year, and working in a committee himself with Michael Carter, but still knows for the end zone, can catch the ball like we saw over here on the sidelines. Like, the guy can do it all, and he can be your lead back. So it wouldn't surprise me if this goes back to the day with Mike Anderson and Tatum Bell, who both almost had 1,000-yard rushing. I think Anderson had over 1,000 and Tatum had like 900 and something. I think we're going to see a similar setup this year for the Broncos where both Gordon and Williams push towards that 1,000-yard mark.
We have to talk about the defensive side of the ball. Yesterday it was the offense that won the day. Today seems like defense, maybe?
Yeah, which is unusual because I've been covering Broncos training camp since 2004. Right? Standing next to Mike Shanahan watching.
Way to age yourself.
Exactly. But, hey, it's been a long time. But normally the defense wins early, and as practice and camp goes on, the offense starts winning more. Yesterday, the offense won. Today, the defense coming back, kind of harassing the quarterbacks a little bit more. So we'll keep monitoring that, watching that. I mean, with the tremendous skill, this is a top 5 defense, maybe the best defense in the league. So if your offense is able to do much against this unit, that shows how strong they are getting on that side. But defense making a comeback today.
I know you've been gushing about Pat Surtain II. Is this guy the real deal?
Well, you know I'm a gamer. I'm an Xbox guy, but I love PS2. I mean, there is no doubt that he is out there. He might be their best corner, and that's all due respect to Kyle Fuller. Okay, all due respect to Bryce Callahan, who I think is the best slot corner in the game. And you look at PS2 with that size, with that strength, the determination that he has there as well. He's the total package. He is the real deal. The game is not too big for him. He's incredibly bright, and he's always around the football. That's how you know you have a player, because no matter where the play ends up, hey, there's number 2. There's PS2. Oh, he's making another play. Don't be surprised if he gets a couple of picks here during camp. Don't be surprised if during the preseason he has a couple of picks as well. He's that type of impact player.
Well, Cease, thank you so much for your time. It's good seeing you in person after all those Zoom Broncos beats for the last year and a half.
Right.
Thank you so much. Listen it back up to Steve and Rod, guys.
Thank you, AP. Great stuff, Cecil Lammey. But he must be an offensive guy talking about those pass interference.
He's definitely he's an offensive reporter. He's an offensive reporter.
But he did agree.
Offensive reporters and defensive reporters. I'm telling you.
You can tell by the mindset.
You talk to Alfred Williams, it was great defense.
Yeah,
talk to Steve Atwater, it was great defense.
Never pass interference. The guys are taking a little bit of a break now. I like how they're kind of breaking off in their position groups and enjoying. Von Miller's having a little bit of fun.
Von gonna have some
with the
fun
fans.
no matter what.
See Coach Fangio there.
Fun no matter what. Here's what he got to do. What, year 9 now?
There
Vaughn?
he is. Yes. No, 9. I think it's year 11.
Vaughn?
Yes.
Dang. Oh, yes. You know what? Yeah, he missed last year. It still count, but yeah, no, he's looking forward to doing some big stuff this year, and we need him, man. He's the heartbeat of the squad, and I think when he's out there, honestly, Chubb is going to be better. Chubb is going to be better when Vaughn's out there, and that's going to make the back end, especially for those young guys, man, those young corners that we had. They got scarred up last year. At the time, they made some plays, too, which can't build that confidence. But I think that now that they, like you said, that year 2, year 3, I can see some of those guys really stepping into their own,
Now, when you see Von Miller walking, does that remind you of you with your legs back when you played?
No. Vaughn got some tree trunks over there, man.
Man, his legs are huge.
Hey, Vaughn must have squatted on the way. He must have did lunges all the way to the facility. I think Vaughn, where he live, he got a big house somewhere around here. He lunged to the facility every day. That was his workout.
Right. Yeah, I think they're
no, those breaks are cool. That's when we had our fun, man. We would clown and was Sharp and definitely. I don't know if my man, Sharpie had a surgery, man.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Sharp had hip surgery. I messaged him the other day. He's doing good. He said he feels a lot better. He got to have the other one in February. I'm like, dude,
man, he getting both.
Yeah, lucky he's doing both at the same time. Good ball, good spot.
Yes.
Good ball, good spot. That's the guy we need to get it.
Yes.
We need 14 catching in traffic. See, guys, he's trying to get the crowd hype.
Get the crowd hype.
Yeah, he's trying to get the crowd hype. He said, Vaughn ain't the only one out here.
Yes.
They love Vaughn, but I'm telling you, 14, man, I think I saw one of the best catches. Everybody talk about the one that, OBJ made, the one, and it was like stupid.
I know what you're getting ready to say.
The one he caught, I was in the corner of the end zone, and he caught it with one hand, palmed it, and it never touched the ground. That's one of the greatest plays I ever saw with my own eyes. Not a replay, like physically being there. And dude,
how did that ball not move though?
Dude, you know what? 14. That's all I can say. 14.
Oh man.
Remember, he was fly. He was sticky fingers, man. Everything that went up to him, he only had one arm. The guy draped over him, and he caught it with his forearm. He literally caught the ball with his forearm, hit the ground, rolled over, and the ball never moved. And I was like, dude, that's one of the greatest I ever saw with my eyes. And he ended up getting the Pro Bowl. And, man, I just see tremendous upside, even more upside from – he's still a young guy. Yeah, he's still a young guy, man. So we're really looking for some big things from Court.
Yeah. Which got him. Oh, where we at? Oh yeah. Well, we had to eat that one.
Yeah, no,
as a defensive player, that's what we love to see.
As a guy who likes defense, that was good defense.
We like to see that.
Y'all do it every 3-4 plays. It's all right. No, the good thing is not to make bad plays. You know what I'm saying? We always say, hey, look, we can punt. It's okay to punt. It's okay to punt every now and then. I mean, I don't really like our punter, but it's okay.
You don't like our punter?
No, I don't like punting.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing against him. I want him to have a job and get paid, but I don't want him to do much work.
Yeah.
Unless he holds for, some extra points. We don't want no field goal. We want a lot of extra points.
Keep moving the sticks.
Yeah, keep the sticks moving, get 7s, man. We need 6 so we can get 7.
Steve, there's been a lack of interceptions in these first couple days of
Well, Caden Stearns got one today.
He did get one today at the
score. Nice one today. See, I'm not sure. Did anyone get it? We got some yesterday. Got a couple yesterday.
Yeah, I'm finna give.
There you go. Just there we go. Love. Sam,
I'm with Sam. I just want him to do a lot of practice. That's it.
no game action.
Yeah, we don't want him to have none in the game.
He's over there by himself, just practicing. We're over here bagging on him, man.
I'm going to say this. It's defense. This is for the defense. A lot of the plays are scripted for the offensive guys during camps and stuff like that. That's why you don't get the interceptions. Now, when you start going live, it's different. So I'm on the defensive side right now. They're a little handicapped in the play call, the selection. The coach can go set up the offense according to the defense. He know they're going to run, and they got it scripted so they can get these quarterbacks to see if they can get these reads and reps down. Yeah. That's a defensive flaw. But I think our defensive guys are going to be better. And like you said, we ain't seen many interceptions. When they get live, I think those guys are going to be some ball hogs.
We are going to wrap things up here from UC Health Training Center. Real quick, though, guys, I want to get final thoughts from each of you. Rod, day 2, like you mentioned, it's a lot of scripting. There's not a lot of live going on, but what was your big takeaway from what we've seen today so far?
You know what I like, man? I like the energy. I really like the energy on all sides, man. Offensively, you can see they're picking and choosing, working their way through. Because remember, the coordinator is just as important as the quarterback, or just as, almost as more. Well, he can't throw, so that's why he's the coordinator.
Right.
But the energy from the quarterbacks, seeing Drew scramble and run the ball, not just throwing the ball away, all the time. You can throw it away, but you run and scramble, get 2 yards, man. That's good. Defense, you can see a little bit more energy, a little bit more flying around. They don't have their two big guns, which is the ends. When those guys are there, and man, I think the defense is going to be better. So I really love what I see. So for day 2, you just want to start getting in football shape, and it's very hard to do without live games going on.
Steve?
Yeah, well, hey, I thought it was a great practice. I saw Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater complete some good passes. Being a defensive guy, I like them having to pat the ball down here in the red zone.
Yeah.
Good coverage down there. Good clean coverage. Rod called a pass interference on the play that I don't think was pass interference, but we'll take it. Happy to see Cortland Sutton moving around well, going up, catching passes. Doesn't look like he has any hesitation. That's a very good sign, especially this early in camp. So I say this is a very positive day.
Rod, real quick, where can people find you? I know we talked a little bit about the book earlier, but what do you got going on? Where can people find you?
I'm on social media somewhere. Rod Smith 80. Yeah, Betfred. You can see what Betfred do. I've been winning some money, man. I got some money in my account. So
you can gamble?
Huh? Yeah,
we can't do that,
we
Steve.
can't gamble.
Y'all can't gamble.
We'll give you 5.
I'm trying to get some tips from y'all so I can see who's going to be the quarterback. I can go put a bet on that.
You're going to get everybody in trouble.
No.
That's going to do it for us today on day 2. Tomorrow, though, on day 3, we mentioned it a little bit earlier, no Sean Moreno is going to be in the house. He's going to be stopping by to talk running backs. Maybe give us some insight to those great Peyton Manning offenses when they shared the field in 2012 and 2013. So look forward to that tomorrow. But until then, Broncos country, a special thanks to Alexis Perry and the Hall of Famer Steve Atwater. I'm Matt Boyer. So long from UC Health Training Center. This has been Broncos Training Camp Live, presented by U.S. Bank.